All right, back over to Cora Henderson over at Pitt and Frank Attorneys LLC. We received this email from Nicholas who says he was touring a house with his agent. They walked in the backyard. He fell into a hole, injuring his leg because there was some sort of metal in the hole. He says there were no warnings, no barriers, no ropes around the hole. He's wondering, can he sue for injuries? Cora?
Most likely, yes. So that's super unfortunate. I hope that the homeowner has homeowner's insurance coverage for that, whether it be embedded in the homeowner's insurance policy itself or have some umbrella coverages. I think that's a very important conversation for all of our listeners to have with their insurance agents and brokers right now. It's just to really understand what coverage you have in place. And that goes with roofs as well when we suffer all of these, whether it be hailstorms or high winds and floods and all the things. So revisit a conversation on your insurance to see what your coverages are. Swimming pool, you want to ask what kind of coverage do you have? You have people coming over to swim. If you are a home seller and you know that there are some treacherous situations, maybe you're missing some stairs, maybe your back deck is in disrepair, maybe there's a hole in the backyard, like in this instance. I think it would be wise to converse about a potential hold harmless and indemnification agreement with a real estate attorney to see if that's something where you need to pre-screen or pre-warn, even have documents and disclaimers and waivers signed before somebody comes onto the premises. So, if the seller knew about that hole and did not tell anybody, that would not bode well for them in this fact pattern. But insurance is probably going to end up paying out on that.
Yeah, and that's really a warning for all sellers if you're thinking about putting your home on the market or it's on the market. Do a walk around. Make sure there are no dangerous areas that could hurt somebody. Bray, did you have something you wanted to add on that?
No, I was just going to say, I think all of our personal injury attorney friends just, tuned in a little bit closer. One other thing, Bob, dogs. I would suggest that dogs be put in a secure area, whether you're doing a home inspection on it, whether you're showing the property. A lot of times, we find, quote, friendly dogs that when they're outside of their owners, they're not so friendly anymore. And, even if they're in a backyard, the home inspectors have to have access to that backyard. I'm sure sellers and listing agents are going to want to have access to the backyard. So just do your dog a favor, lower the stress level for them and put them into, a safe, secure area that they're not, going to be stressed out by people.
And brilliant idea, because I recently heard of a lawsuit. Someone in my office received compensation because they were bit. And listen, the dog was locked up and broke out of the room. So, make sure when you say secure, make sure it's secure. And if that can't be accomplished, you may need to temporarily remove them from the premises, take them to a doggy daycare if it's just not worth the risk. Also, even if you think you have them on a leash aggression is real, for dogs, for animals. And so while you think they're safe because they're on a leash, if somebody comes onto their land, they may quickly turn away from you, even if they are on that leash.
Yeah, and if your dog bites and you've got them locked up, and just put some sort of note that says, please don't open this door. My dog could bite you. I don't want you to get injured. What you could also do is take a picture of the room that the dogs are in without the dogs in them, and then print it and put it on the door itself of the room that is closed and say, this is what the room looks like. At least that gives them an idea of what's behind the door.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it may not be a dog. It may be a boa constrictor or a peacock or a lion.
Could be anything, right?
You never know what you're going to find these days.
You never know, but safety is important for everything and good points all. We are out of time, and my thanks to Cora Henderson over at Pitt and Frank Attorneys LLC. They do a great job of getting the loan closed, and it doesn't matter who the mortgage company is. They work with all mortgage companies. You can call Cora and get ready to get closed at 895-9900. Also, my thanks to Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service. They come in as a team. He also owns Team Bug Out. He's a very busy guy, and he does a great job, both his teams and himself. You can reach Brad anytime at 844-411-TEAM. And if you're thinking of selling your home now or in the future, I would love to help you. Love, I would tell you. No home too big, no home too small. And I work both in the Louisville, surrounding counties, and southern Indiana. In fact, I went to Radcliffe this past week to talk about listing a home down there. You can reach me anytime on my cell phone at 376-5483. That translates into 376-LIVE, which is easier to remember, maybe. Also, go to bobsellslouisville.com and fill out the form and hit submit. And for that free, no-obligation analysis of what your home is worth, simply go to WeSellLouisville.com and click on the top of the page. A reminder, next week, a new Zillow quiz is going to help us decide which features add value to our home. It should be interesting. We're out of time. See you next Sunday on News Radio 840 WHAS.